As a domestic worker in Hong Kong, it's essential that you know all your rights as stated by the Hong Kong Labour Department to better protect yourself from unfair treatment and to ensure you're working under fair conditions. Duration. This is a standard employment contract for domestic workers in Hong Kong. The duration of a domestic worker contract is set for 2 years and can be terminated by any party with 1 month's notice. The contract must be renewed every 2 years. Location. Domestic workers are required to live and can only work in the employer's address stated in the contract. Some employers may argue that a house is owned by them, and therefore they can tell workers to do extra work in said area. This is illegal. Duties. Domestic workers should only perform duties stated in the contract for their employers. Some employers may ask workers to do tasks for friends or relatives that are not stated in the contract. This is illegal. Wages. Domestic workers should be paid monthly, on time, and wages cannot be lower than the legal minimum wage, which is $4,520 per month as of 2018. Employers should allow for free passage of domestic workers, paying for all fees acquired during arrival and departure of their workers, which includes the following. Workers should also be given a travel allowance of 100 Hong Kong dollars every time they enter and exit Hong Kong. Holidays. Domestic workers are entitled to continuous 24-hour rest days once every 7 days. It is illegal for employers to require you to work during your rest day or impose a curfew on you. Domestic workers are also entitled to all 12 statutory holidays of the year, even if they have been working less than 3 months. However, only after 3 months can workers exchange unspent statutory holidays for extra cash. Domestic workers are also entitled to annual paid leave. This table shows the number of annual paid leave days you are entitled to, corresponding to the years of service. If you have been working less than a year, but more than 3 months, you are still entitled to annual paid leave. You can use this equation to calculate your annual paid leave days. Working conditions. There are no maximum working hours for workers. However, if you are being overworked, either inform your employers or report your situation to the Labour Department. Employers should provide suitable accommodation and with reasonable privacy for workers. Unsuitable accommodation would include the following: helper having to sleep on made-do beds in the corridor with little privacy, or sharing a room with an adult or teenager of the opposite sex, and more. Workers should be given free food, otherwise given a food allowance per month, which is 1,075 Hong Kong dollars as of 2018. Termination. Both parties can terminate the contract with 1 month's notice in writing. Otherwise, the person that requests early termination must give the other an equivalent to 1 month's salary. Severance payment and long service payment are applicable when the employer terminates the contract or decides not to renew the contract. Severance payment can be collected if the worker has worked for more than 2 years with one employer and is being dismissed because of redundancy. For example, if there are 2 domestic workers and one is no longer needed, or layoff. For example, if the employer is bankrupt and migrating to another country. Long service payment can be collected if the worker has worked for more than 5 years with one employer and is being dismissed for any reason other than serious misconduct. It is important to note that these payments can only be collected if the employer initiated termination. If you believe your rights are being infringed upon or are unsure about your rights and would want to learn more, reach out to the following domestic worker organization, Mission for Migrant Workers.